His sister fell asleep again, but Liu Feng was haunted by the thought that his reputation as a decent brother was ruined. He didn't understand how he could look into her eyes now. He understood that she was a child now, no matter how old she was. Suddenly, the system notified him that thanks to his survival of one day, he had a chance to play in the beginner's lottery. The system also suggested that he find a drawing of the energy room, and if he built it, he would receive a reward of 100 points. But Liu Feng first decided to play the lottery and see if he could win the drawings there. Moments later, he won the vaccine. He asked the system if this vaccine could cure zombies. If released in batches, would he be able to save time? To which I received the answer that the vaccine is designed to suppress the microchip virus and strengthen the body's resistance. It does not heal zombies or turn them back into humans. It can only be obtained at the National Institute or in Level 5 shelters. After hearing the system's response, Liu Feng decided to use the vaccine on himself, since his life is very important now. Then he asked the system if he could repair the generator in the Underground Institute to provide the shelter with energy. She answered everyone that it was possible, but the generator's energy core is destroyed, but there is a spare energy core in the dean's office on the 16th floor of the hospital's research department. After which the system prompted him to choose a quest. First, find a blueprint for an energy generator and build it. Reward: 100 points, 100% survival rate. Second, repair the generator in the Underground Research Institute and go up to the 16th floor of the research department to find the energy block. Reward 900 points plus 10 reputation points, 1,000 experience points, 10% survival rate. Of course, he chose the second task, after which he thought about it, because if the shelter he created was filled with people, then he would be its director, and decided that he needed to come up with a name for it. After which a brilliant idea came to his mind, to recruit a bunch of surviving beauties and become their sultan and their beloved savior. After a minute of thought, he nevertheless decided that he must use all his strength to save humanity and become the great creator of a new world. But first he needs to solve the food problem. But despite all his thoughts about who he was and how he wanted to achieve it, he still could not escape the thought that his sister still considered him a pervert. The next morning he decided to complete the task and set off. This time he needed to find the energy unit of the hospital's inpatient outdoor research department. Liu Feng understood that this hospital had everything because it was the largest research center in the country. After he saw that the zombies had left, he realized that this was a great opportunity to move on. Getting out of the sewer hatch, he extended his hand to his sister, Xin Tong, in order to help her get up faster. At first he wanted to do everything alone, but he could not leave his younger sister because she was afraid of loneliness. He understood that no matter how much she changed, she was still the same gentle Xin Tong. Rising to the surface, they saw zombies eating innocent, helpless citizens of their side. Liu Feng realized that the apocalypse had already arrived. He could not help these poor fellows, since he had to save his sister. The only ones they could rely on at a time like this were themselves. He promised himself that, no matter what, he would protect the people dear to him. Suddenly, on his way, he met his old friend, Old Man Chang, who helped him survive and saved his life. He could not allow the viruses to continue to defile the body of Old Man Chang, so he decided to free him from this filth. Meanwhile, on the other side, on the roof of the hospital building, an incredible battle was going on between the Death Squad and the Walking Dead. This is the 8th captain of the government special forces, Li Xin, call sign Death. Seeing that her fighters couldn't cope well with zombies, she decided to teach them a lesson and show them how to fight these evil spirits. She smashed zombies left and right and ordered all her soldiers to cease fire. One of the soldiers told the newcomer to stop, because since the captain herself took up the matter, it means that they will no longer need to do anything. Enjoy the battle because the crushing dance, lady. Death is beautiful. Since it came into play, we just have to watch it, he told his partner. Literally 5 minutes later, Lady Death dealt with all the zombies in this area, leaving them no chance of survival. The soldiers admired her because she was very cool. It was not for nothing that she was nicknamed the Goddess of Death among the soldiers, indestructible. But the soldiers could not help but notice that she had some shortcomings. For example, her eyesight was not the best. The soldiers knew that if they were in a team with the goddess of death Li Xin, then they could die in peace. A moment later, one of the soldiers noticed that the target began to move, and Li Xin ordered everyone to go forward because they must complete this mission. Meanwhile, Liu Feng was about to destroy his old friend Chang. From his arsenal, he had a blade that he had assembled this morning. In the pantry, he found 1 box of instant noodles, 3 bottles of water and 2 canned goods, barely enough food for a week. Well, there wasn't enough water, so he still had to go outside to find food. He understood that there was no point in going outside without weapons. At first he decided to rest and come up with something tomorrow. But as soon as he saw that his younger sister Xin Tong was emptying 1 bottle of water after another at incredible speed, he realized that he had no time to rest. Literally a moment later, the system asked him to choose and distribute his talents. Having looked at all the talents that were available to him, he understood that shooting skills were very good, but in his situation, it was difficult to get something like that, so he decided to add more power to himself. After which I decided to remake the knife and choose the Kung Fu Master Skill Level 1, as well as the Superpower Level 1. He understood that if there are no weapons or ammunition in such a terrible time, then welcome to Juggernaut's Doomsday Valley. The Kung Fu Master Chip was successfully downloaded, and the powers were increased to C+ level. In his hands was a C-rank fire blade. The blade was attached to a flammable device. The weapon was effective in hitting a target in close combat. With just 1 blow of his fiery blade, he cut off Lao Jiang's head from his shoulders. In addition to everything, his body was also watered, freeing him from the virus. He did this without a drop of regret, because he promised himself that he would protect his sister by any means, no matter what. After he freed his friend, he realized that with the Kung Fu Master Chip, he could improve all his melee skills, since the system chip was really cool. In addition, due to the skill of superpowers, his physical strength also increased significantly. He understood that he should not linger on the street with his younger sister Xin Tong. Moreover, their goal was the heart of the research center on the 16th floor. Meanwhile, in the corridor on the 7th floor, Xiao Guang and her friend Lixiang ran very quickly to the stairs that were ahead in order to hide from the zombies that were chasing them. Xiao Guang couldn't believe that the most beautiful girl Lixiang would ask him to help. He decided that when they got out, they would get married right away. But to his disappointment, because he was distracted, the zombie attacked him and bit him right on the neck. He asked his girlfriend to save him, but she snatched her dress from his hand, saying that he was a disgusting loser, that it was stupid to think in his place that if the end of the world came, then she, the most beautiful girl in the school, would look at someone like him. But a moment later she was bitten, and then eaten by monsters. Meanwhile, the president of the company, Li Zong, who was not chipped, with his colleagues and the remaining survivors, was developing a plan to get out of the hospital alive. Seeing what was happening in the corridor, he suggested that the little guy go to the right side of the corridor and find out how the circumstances were there. But his sister Zhaojia came to the boy's defense, asking why her brother should do this, seeing as he is still very young. To which Litsong replied that even unnecessary, useless people, and no one would feel sorry for him. Sarah, the secretary of the research department, also supported the girl, saying that she knows everything here. There are also a lot of zombies on the right side of the corridor. If he goes there, he will definitely die. Li Zong said that if she wanted to protect the boy, then she should go in his place, and everyone in the area supported him. Having said that if she did not agree, she still could not refuse, since this was the decision of the majority. While Sarah was wondering what to do, Li Zong's assistant, Xiao Wang, threw the boy out of the room into a corridor filled with zombies. The boy shouted for help to his sister, thereby attracting the attention of the zombies. The sister wanted to save him, screaming at him to run back, but they closed her mouth, saying that she was stupid because her scream could all die. The zombie attacked the boy, and it seemed that he was about to bite him, when at the seemingly last moment of his life, Liu Feng appeared and pierced the zombie's head with his sword, thereby saving the boy from inevitable death. It was a spectacular appearance. Sarah fell to her knees in front of Liu Feng, thinking that God heard her prayers and sent a warrior to save her. Turning around, Liu Feng counted how many zombies were behind him. Having counted 5 zombies behind him who were moving towards them, he ordered everyone to run. He understood that he was the only one who could cope with these 5 zombies. The main thing was to believe in himself. He loaded his kung fu skills and rushed to the attack. Using kung fu techniques and his awesome flaming sword, he made his way through the zombies, killing them one by one, without even giving them a chance to touch him. Thanks to his confidence and the strength that he pumped up, not so long ago he killed one zombie after another, cutting off and piercing their heads with his sword. Sarah, who watched Liu Feng fight the monsters from around the corner, was very surprised, because she could not even believe that he was even a human, since he was very strong. She couldn't believe her eyes, because it wasn't even a fight, it was like a dance. Liu Feng was so skillful in his sword technique that it seemed as if he was not fighting, but as if he was dancing, performing some kind of number with a fiery sword. Sarah, along with the boy's sister, simply could not take their eyes off the fact that they saw Liu Feng dealing with zombies. They even forgot that they needed to run away. At the moment of the fight, Sarah noticed a very murderous aura, and the fact that he looked like a brutal warrior, thereby making her fall in love with him from the first minutes of the fight. But not everyone watched how Liu Feng destroyed the walking dead. Mr. Li's assistant ran, without looking back, screaming so that the creatures would not approach him because he still wanted to live. After a while, he could no longer run, and stopped. Turning back, he noticed that no one was following him. Having caught his breath a little, he noticed that some strange fog was approaching him. He saw that a very sexy and beautiful girl emerged from this fog. He could not resist, because he had never seen such a beautiful girl before. She opened her dress in front of him, showing her bare breasts and asking him to protect her. Blinded by her beauty, he came closer, and at that very moment she pierced him with her poisonous tentacles, because she was not just a beauty, she was a walking mutant monster. After Liu Feng destroyed all the zombies, he said that he had not seen other people for a long time and was a little nervous. He greeted everyone and introduced himself, saying that his name was Liu Feng, and next to him was his younger sister, Liu Xintong. Everyone admired him. They saw that he destroyed all the monsters and understood that he was a master, after which everyone rushed to ask him how the situation was now. Did the government come to their aid or not? He replied that the government had collapsed. There are only zombies around the hospital. After which he asked them if they knew where the stairs were, because he wanted to go up to the 16th floor. Li Zong intervened in the conversation, saying that no one should listen to him. After all, the state army is incredibly strong. Does he really want to say that the end of the world has come? He also urged no one not to trust him, since he wants to deceive them into going upstairs with him to die. Liu Feng said that he had not been able to reach anyone. More than 24 hours had passed since the zombies appeared, and there was still no sign of the army or government. After which he said that if someone does not want to go with him, he does not force anyone. At the moment when Liu Feng was accepting gratitude from Zhao Zhang for saving her brother, Li Zong grabbed him by the cover on his shoulders so that Liu Feng would turn his attention to him. In response to this action, Liu Feng roundhouse punched him in the face with all his might. Li Zong was shocked because he is a respected director of the company, a high-ranking official whom previously it was not enough to hit him. Even no one could touch him with a finger without his permission. Liu Feng said that he knows and has seen how he treated people who were in the same position as him, so he dare not tell him what to do. Suddenly, his subordinate, Mr. Li, appeared behind Li Zong. He grabbed Li Zong's head with one hand, and he told him that he had previously insulted him and treated him like a dog, after which he bit him on the shoulder, because he was no longer the same assistant. Seeing this, Liu Feng charged again to protect his sister and all those he had saved recently. This time he was unlucky, because an unknown mutant appeared, and it seems that things are very bad for Liu Fen. The system detected a high level of danger among mutants. Due to the mutants' counterattack, Liu Feng fell to the ground. He understood that going against a mutant zombie was dangerous, But he was also surprised by the strange fog around this zombie. Getting up from the floor and turning back, he saw some zombie girl behind him. He decided to attack her with a sword, but his sword got stuck in her hand without cutting it.